Setting up. Let me just wait till it officially says it's going.
It says
And I,
meeting now streaming live on Facebook.
okay. Hello, hello. We are coming to you from San Diego. Is where Kristyn, right? You're in San Diego?
Yes.
And I am in the Santa Cruz Mountains of California. So, welcome everybody. Let us know if you're here live or for the replay. Just want to do a quick intro. I'm Aya Bonagoro. If you're here, most of you know me and a little bit about me. EmobodyCore Sovereignty Live is about you claiming sovereignty in all the areas of your life that allow you to embody your truth, connect to your core, and start to step up into leadership, whatever that might mean. May it be your career or in your household or in your body, and honoring the female body and organs that you came here with. So today, I wanted to talk about 3 strategies that I have around female-centric business. So a lot of you have been asking me, I swear, like I've had at least 3 sisters a week approaching me and wanting to pick my brain, like, how did you get your business started? And can I bounce these ideas off of you? And that, just like I've been giving a lot of my free time to all of you, and I love it. I love that. Excuse me. I love that so many of you are feeling ready to deliver your purpose in a more fulfilling way and to learn how to do that online. And so, how do we do that online in a way that is authentic and honors our skills, our mastery? And how do we do that in a field that feels very saturated right now because everybody is going online with their business. So it feels like, how do I stand out and be special? So I've invited on one of my favorite business mentors to speak and collaborate with. And if you guys have questions, please put them in the chat box. Um, what I want to say about Kristyn, Kristyn has been, we call her a soulful strategist, a soulful business strategist. She's a certified hypnotherapist, founder of Evolve Entrepreneur Academy. She's been coaching for more than 14 years. She's taught hundreds of entrepreneurs how to build a truly profitable business that they love through one-on-one retreats, group masterminds, and immersive courses online. I being one of them, okay? I just want to share a quick story, and then I'm going to pass the floor over to Kristyn for a minute. Um, so many of you out there have been working or following Sage Levine and Woman Rockin' Business, and she's awesome. In a time when I was looking for a business mentor, and I had already been kind of following Sage for a few years, I came across Kristyn's ad or offering, and I had a really awesome, soulful discovery call with her. I just felt her really grounded in strategy, and that she really cared, and that she really saw me for who I was and the gifts. Like, I feel like I do something very unique, and it's hard to fully be seen in the deep womb clearing work that I offer. And I would say that, she also understands the spiritual and the sacred in business. So when I went through Sage's Women's Rockin' Business 3-day event, Kristyn was ironically there because she was also in Sage's program. And at the end of that, I could have chosen to go into Sage's program, but I chose to work with Kristyn. I just felt a deep resonance with her. And that's why I'm bringing her on today, because I really feel like she might be able to offer you guys some really soulful structure and some great skill sets. So if you want to get started, here we go. Kristyn, introduce yourself, please.
Mm. Oh, thank you, love. What a wonderful introduction. And it has been such a blessing and honor to work with you and support you on your incredible journey. And I'm always amazed, I'm always amazed that, right, we end up finding people with the most incredible synergy, right? We
Mm-hmm.
definitely shared some common ground, and we both have women's health background. So I just always trust that. And you have such an incredible mission on this planet. So I absolutely
Mm-hmm.
love supporting healers and wisdom keepers and leaders like yourself. And I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for the invitation. This is my jam. This is what I love to do. I love to geek out on how to really authentically and with integrity, like, be a businesswoman, but also be heart-centered and be real and actually serve people and get your gifts in the world, right? Because it's kind of painful Like who here, put yes in the comments. If you're here watching on Facebook anyway, put yes in the comments. If you know, like you have a calling, you feel something that you're meant to do something, but you just can't quite where do you start? It feels overwhelming. What to focus on first? So that's what we're here to do today, to help you get started online, whether you have a business or whether you're just getting started. So ask your questions. We'll come back and answer questions as well after the live.
Yeah, yeah, and we're gonna do an awesome practice towards the end of these 45 minutes. Kristyn's gonna lead it around really regulating our nervous system, and this can be integrated into business or being at the computer for long periods of time. So I'm excited about that. So I'm gonna ask you some questions, and one thing that I'm seeing a lot, like the common theme, is that a lot of women out there that have been approaching me have been on a similar path to me. Like they've been yoga teachers, dance teachers, body workers, Pilates instructors. They're really hands-on with people in the community, and the pandemic has kind of put a stop on that or limited their capacity to deliver their gifts. So they feel really skilled in working with people, and they also know that there's a higher purpose, and that there's something else actually, and that they're confident in what they've done and been building, but now it's time to change. And so it's hard. I want to kind of bring it into, what I call the first step here today of the female-centric way of doing business. And, I came up with these kind of 3 business steps. So if you resonate with them, or if you have something else to say, Kristyn, please do. But I feel like it's important when getting started to know your mission, to know what you care about and what you stand for. This might be kind of like narrowing it down to a niche and knowing who your ideal clients are. And, that's definitely included. That's definitely something to brainstorm. But I feel like just taking that away, it's all about like knowing your mission in the world, knowing what you stand for, because that's fueling you to figure out what's next. That's what you come back to when you're too much in your head, or you're putting yourself down and telling yourself you can't do this. It's all about who you're serving, and that's how you're going to find your unique client. So what do you think about that, Kristyn?
Yeah,
What would that
absolutely.
fit you? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is so we're talking about your why. This is your, like, what is that pull, that I call it the soul keeps knocking and the knocking gets louder. So that thing that's pulling you, that thing that you care about. And usually, and when we're talking about our mission, a lot of us have sort of a broader, like, global mission. I know there are lots of leaders and healers here in this community, and so we probably care about the environment. We care about social justice. So think about what's the bigger mission in the world, or message that you want, or thing that you want to heal on the planet. And then also think about your own personal why. Is sometimes a little different. And what I mean is, so for example, I've worked with clients where their personal why is, I want to make this business work and I want to serve and help people, but I want to retire my partner because my partner hates their job. So there's like a real personal thing, and it's important to link our personal stories and our personal why. Write this down, because if you're not sure what your niche is, or who you should focus on, here's a hot tip and a clue. Think to your own personal hero or heroine's journey, right? What is the journey that you yourself have been through? What has been difficult for you that you've overcome in your life? And that's a clue, probably a clue, because you're going to serve people that are similar to you, but you're maybe a few steps ahead. So that's one thing about the whole niche thing, because I know people struggle. And the other thing I'm going to say about niche is just pick a starter niche. Like, however clear you can get right now in this moment, don't wait until it's all perfect. Go out and start serving people. It will become, the only way it becomes more clear is through the embodiment, right? And you're all about embodiment, Aya. So this is, just the last piece here that I'll share. It's like, we get all frozen, right? There's so much, we all have bits of trauma in our space. And so it's like, oh, we want it to be perfect, and we're not sure, but there's only one way to get sure. be embodied in your business. Be willing to give somebody a free session if you don't know. So yeah, there's a lot here. There's a lot here, right? It's vulnerable, isn't it?
Let me ask you something, Kristyn.
Yeah.
What is your personal and what is your collective why? Like, why do you do what you do?
Oh, I love it. So my global why and my mission is, for me, it's always been about health and healing in one way or another. I've had before I became a business coach, I have more than 20 years of holistic health, and got a whole bunch of holistic modalities and things. And so it's always been about healing. And so I'm here to raise up all of the healers and the wise ones and the teachers and help them get their gifts out so that we can raise the vibration on the planet. And we all know this is obviously a very unique time in history, and there's a lot of opportunity for innovation and change and doing things differently. So let's rise up and do things differently. And that's what I'm here to do. So that's my global. And then
Mm,
my personal why is, it's kind of, in a way, it's a mirror.
mm,
But even though I'm a business coach, my business coaching, the root of it, it's still about healing, because guess what, folks? It's an inside job. I could give you the most amazing strategies in the world, but they will fall flat unless we are in tandem doing our inner healing, our inner mindset work. This is a journey and a process. And I always say business can be our medicine, because it's going to bring up all your shit. And so let's be gentle with ourselves, and let's get tools like the ones we're sharing with you today, because the world needs your gifts.
yeah. Thank you. I love that. Yeah. I mean, there's always, if you are here and you know your personal or your collective why, please write it in the comments. We want to hear it. We want to, share feedback. I'll just throw in there too, just real quick, that like my personal why, because I advocate, educate, and empower women around reproductive health and sexual sovereignty and ancestral healing. And like this for me, so personal. I've had imbalances, ovarian cyst, dysmenorrhea, things that have been really painful as a child and in my female body to discover, but also in a greater why is because I believe that woman healing this stuff is going to create like healthy future generations, healthier societies of men and women to come. So that why fuels me all of the time. And so I have a video on like health advocacy and how you can step into it. So I'd love to share that with anybody. But Kristyn, that was awesome. I want to ask you, so number 2 here, I think we got that nitty gritty like niche thing that we laid down. But my number 2 in this is about educating and inspiring your community, like building, you're bringing your business online. Ideally, you want to have like a social platform, right? Some people work with multiple, but you got to keep it real simple, okay? Because I've just talked to all of you lately. You're getting overwhelmed. Where do I start? What do I do this? And you're starting to learn things, and it's overwhelming. So I want you to think about what skills you have that you care about, and you start to educate your community, build your tribe, and start to create that trust, on choosing one social media platform. Maybe a Facebook groups are really popular right now because they're free and you can bring people into them, and you can offer free teachings and skills and engage people to then potentially become long-term clients. Tell me about funnels and educating your community, Kristyn, because I see you putting a lot of posts out in education constantly, and this is what actually drew me to you.
Yeah. Thank you for that. I'm a teacher, and so I love to geek out and just teach things and get my whiteboard out. And so, first and foremost, be generous. So whatever wisdom or knowledge you have, and I know all of you watching, all of you that are tuning in, you, just like I said, you are confident in your skill set, whether you've done massage therapy or, other kinds of body work or coaching. It just, like, you all have certifications and know your craft. to, you're somewhere on the journey of developing expertise and experiencing how you help people. So you're expert enough, first of all, you're expert enough to share what you know. And so be generous and be willing to make it about them. But sometimes it's like people get insecure or don't feel confident because they're like, well, maybe I don't know enough to say something, to make a video online. But we have to get out of our own way, because if we truly are here to be of service, we have to push the discomfort so that we can be of service to others. Because if we're not willing to overcome our discomfort and share what we know can help people heal and transform, then they're not going to get, then we're sort of depriving people. So that's one kind of like that internal piece that is a struggle, right? It's not easy. I'm an introvert. It's not easy to be on video and all the things, but it's a process. You get more comfortable over time. So that's one piece. And then I'd love to just address quickly, like, because people do get overwhelmed. It's like everyone, it's like, I know I'm supposed to be posting everywhere, but what am I posting? And like, oh my God, there's so many places to post. It's a lot. It's a lot,
Just choose
And
one.
so,
Yeah.
seriously. So think about, I love what you said. You said, well, what are your own like skills and talents and likes? But I think when you're choosing where you're going to talk to your community and educate and serve them, what do you naturally like? If you're a visual person, maybe you like Instagram, if you are, I mean, Facebook is a little bit of both, but if you hate writing, don't start a blog. You know what I mean? Like, don't try to like put yourself in some box that somebody told you you're supposed to be doing, and that's part of this authenticity. And like, I think that's part of being female centric in our business. It's like, don't set up a business that you hate being in. Now, if you hate social media altogether, I'm going to encourage you to work on being willing to change your orientation a little bit, because here's the thing, the world has changed and we're not going back. I hope we go back to in-person. I love in-person events and things, but if we have a calling and a mission, it's our duty to be willing to change and evolve with the planet. So in terms of platforms, yes, I agree. Like, pick one social media platform. One. I mean, if you love it, then maybe two, but no more. And then
Exactly.
no more, because people are, and what happens is people are on Facebook and Instagram. This happened to me the other day. A new client, and she's like, "Well, I'm here, but it's not working. Maybe I should get on Pinterest. Maybe I should start a YouTube channel. Maybe I should get on LinkedIn." And I'm like, no. Like, whoa. Let's diagnose why your current thing isn't working, and before we run and throw spaghetti at the wall. But the whole point of this is you want to start now with gathering your community. Think of it as a gathering. Where are you going to gather your people? Are you going to gather your people and love them up inside a Facebook group? Think of it as your living room. Or are you going to love up and gather your people on Instagram? Are you going to love up and gather your people on an email list, which I do recommend having an email list, because social media can take away your social media anytime they want. But think of it as gathering. You are investing long-term in where you're going to gather your people and share your knowledge and be generous and love them up and support them. And then eventually, yes, you make an offer, because we have businesses, and yes, you invite people to pay you and work with you. But first, you are generous and you gather.
And they want to pay you, and they value you, and they want to
Yes.
see you thrive. That's the ideal clients. I want to share two things that just in response to that, if I can. One is, this is a tip you taught me, Kristyn, so I just want to like reflect it back, is that, you taught me to do a Facebook Live, and then I can repurpose it. Like, I can download it and upload it to YouTube or on my website. But that's not, if you have the extra time, you can repurpose your video that's on one social media platform. So I thought that was super helpful, because I do that now when I have extra time
Me too.
and I really want to share something, I was like, oh, that was a good Facebook Live. Let me download and upload it here, here, and here, you know? And sometimes it's
Yeah.
important or not. And then one other example that I want to give here to everybody, it feels really important besides just like, I love that, like loving, yeah, just learning to love whatever you're doing and where you want to gather everybody. But I have a friend, and I'm probably going to just promote her on this post. Omega Fit, you guys know Omega out there. She's awesome. She spent an entire year, actually 2 years, just getting on social media before she opened her personal training business online. She spent a whole year and a half just putting out little educational videos. Now she started in like, you know, bikini competitions when she was 18, you know what I mean, like to overtraining herself, to having lots of hormonal imbalances, to then, you know, she's super funny. She is like a stand-up comedian, so she got made super funny quirky videos about getting your body in shape and learning to train in a healthy, holistic way. And so she shares her story, and then like here we are 2 or 3 years later, she's offering a program for women on how to train in fitness and honor all of the cycles that they're in, the hormonal menstrual cycles of the month, you know. And it was cool to see like she built this for a few years, an amazing social media platform and following. She built trust and likability, and just gave awesome tips. And then it was like boom, it was finally time to launch her business, and I felt like wow, she really, that was really well planned. And so, you know, some of you don't have that much time to create that type of social media following, or, you know, that type of education and trust, but just wanted to share that there's a lot of different ways to go about doing it. And, you know, wherever you are
Mhm.
now, and maybe your topics that you want to share change, but as long as you're out there sharing what you care about, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, so good. And so it works, you know. And so we're talking about content. We're talking about consistently sharing valuable content that educates, entertains, and inspires, you know. I personally, I don't think I'm that funny, so I'm not really the entertainer type. I'm a little more like, let's teach you something. But but whatever, again, whatever, if you are naturally funny, bring it. People will love it
Right.
because people want to hire people they like and they have some familiarity and intimacy with, and they've seen them, and it's multiple, you know, they've had multiple opportunities to be in your living room, right? And so so I love that example of your friend who diligently built a following. And yes, if you have an audience, it's gets easier.
Hmm.
Now, if you are watching this and you're just starting out, I promise you, there are some really simple ways you can get your first or your next clients, probably closer to home than you realize. Like, start where you are. If you don't have a following yet, you can still get clients. You can still teach what you know, and help people. But so I like to think like, okay, there's short-term strategies. But what I was describing is, the thing about picking a social media platform or email list and then consistently nurturing it, this is a long-term strategy that if you're serious about having a business, you must do. And so think of it at, but start now. Pick one
Hmm.
now. Even if you're not sure about your niche, just start talking about what you know and start being generous and think about being of service instead of your own worrying about being perfect, you know, which is, I know, easier said than done.
Definitely. So, yeah, I think that before I want to go on to number three, but I think what I also want to wrap up number two with, that like education point, is don't give away all of your gems, and don't over deliver. Is there's this like, I don't know if you can speak to that actually better, is that like, you know, don't give away all your gifts because then there's nothing to really come back to. So you want to kind of leave a little bit of intrigue of like, you know, sharing the foundations of the practices, but if you want to go more advanced, don't share the advanced ones, you know, because you want to know people have that integrity to really carry something forth with the amount of care that you want to transmit it.
Hmm. Yeah, and so I love this. What you're speaking to. This is actually speaks to a deeper topic of
Mm,
funnels,
mm,
actually, and you know, how do funnels work, and how do you um, organize your content. The thing is, you know, we could spend probably 3 hours on this, but we won't. But just to give you just a hint, I'm going to plant a seed for you to start thinking about, okay, let's say you're offering a free workshop or whatever you can charge for it, but you're giving, okay, you are an expert in whatever you're an expert in. So you have a body of work, and you know that if you get a person and work with them, you're going to take them on a journey of transformation. And that journey of transformation probably has multiple steps to it, right? And so when you're offering free content, you want to give, like, let's say you have, this is my process of how I guide people through transformation. You want to pull out a piece of it, maybe the first step that someone needs, right? Give them a small win, like something that tangible, like, oh, they can actually, something valuable that they can apply, but small, bite-sized, even 5 or 10 minutes. But it's a piece of your body of work that you bring. And then, but then what you need to do is communicate, like, oh, I gave you this thing, you can go take it and implement it, and it's valuable. But if you really are still wanting X result, you also need these other pieces. So come along with me, come take the next step with me, and I'll give you the next piece, right? So hopefully that makes sense. I mean, that's like a very simplified kind of talk about
Yeah,
funnels.
well, that brings us into what I call step 3 to the kind of female-centric way of creating a business is like you're talking about strategy. And that's like and that's what you're so good at. I just actually yeah, that's your niche in a way, or like where you get turned on. And I can speak to that because I see when I come to you with my business, you know, or like my vision, and you kind of go in there and you're like, oh yeah, this needs to happen, or this, or what about that, you know, and like and getting real with like the steps and the strategic steps. So number 3 is about having a business plan or a strategy that's going to work. um and actually I'll just to even be transparent to you all, like what this is an example of what Kristyn just talked about. EmobodyCore Sovereignty Live is a live free transmission for you. So we are offering you something for free of value that hopefully I want to see you get inspired and go out and create change in your life. Whether you come back to either of us for deeper mentorship, that'll be up to you, but this is also just feels like the service and the dharma that is a greater gift to the whole vision of why we're doing this. So, Kristyn.
Oh yes, you're right. I do indeed love business strategy, and you know, it's not just strategy. It's actually a model. It's like, what is your business model? And there are a lot of different models out there that can work. But I'll tell you just a little quick story. So I had a hypnotherapy practice and also coaching and energy work in the past, and it was on the side of a soul-sucking full-time job. And I had clients, but it was like I had the job and then I was like rushing through traffic to go to a office space that I had rented. And you know, so I was going along, and I realized, you know what, this business model is never going to liberate me from this day job, which I desperately wanted to escape. And I was actually done with that entire career, not just the job. And it was quite toxic. And, but I was so afraid. I was afraid. And so, of course, I was like DIY girl forever. And like I said, I had some success. I had clients, but I was like, I'm charging this much. I'm only able to see this many people. How am I ever gonna replace my income from the job? It doesn't work, like it doesn't compute. And so then I started getting really serious, and I finally hired a catalyst for me was when I finally hired my very first business coach, which was a number of years ago. But he changed my life because he taught me a business model that I didn't know I could do. I might have seen other people doing it, but for whatever reason, sometimes you don't see the thing that's right there. And so the business model is a huge thing that I teach, and I'm passionate because it's the thing that helped me create consistent income I could count on. And then I was able to finally leave the job. And what that is very simplistically, it's create a flagship core program that you're known for. And some of us have a couple of these, but if you have one program that's longer term, So 3 months, 6 months, I mean, there's all configurations, but how long, what's your ideal amount of time that you want to spend with someone to bring the transformation? So that's one piece is get out of the one-off session model. I mean, you could still do them if, but do them in tandem with create a transformational program or offering that really combines all of your gifts, the best of your gifts that you can, and then if you have people in a longer term program, then guess what? You can start to do the math of like, well, how many clients do I need who are consistently paying me every month, and so on and so forth. So that's one piece. That's like the foundation. And then once you have that, then we build out what I call the abundance ecosystem, which is like, okay, like what we're doing here today. I love that you were transparent and sharing this example. It's like, yeah, get to know us. Maybe someday we can support you. And if not, that's cool too. We're going to give you something for free that's valuable. So part of building out that ecosystem is then, nurturing your people. And then there's a lot of pieces to that, but you want to really start looking, if you're more advanced in your business, you want to start looking at like, what is my actual 1 year plan? Like, what is my plan where everything I'm doing in my business cross-pollinates and fits together? That's super huge. Instead of like, I'm going to do a retreat over here about self-care, and I'm going to do a yoga thing over here, and I'm going to do they're kind of connected, but you really want to start to strategize and get a model where all the pieces work together. Because by the way, we also want to have a life. Like you said, oh, it's like so much work. It can be a lot of work. And I'm a freedom lover too. That's one of my whys. So let's actually get this model working to support not only our business, but our actual happiness and lifestyle.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I've been honest and transparent. Like sometimes it is so much work. Like there's learning curves in bringing a business online, and then things are constantly changing with how of just online, integrations and upgrades and things. But also, I will say that I've also been able to like be on the beach in Mazunte, Mexico, and do a call with a client, or go down to Peru for a week and let my like clients know like, hey, I'm in retreat, but I'm coming out to lead this call, and just have an awesome lifestyle that are really attuned to my values. And you're like me, Kristyn, you love to world travel, so like that's been one of your like, have some things, when you create a business model, know what type, know what you want, know what you want for your life, your life in the long run, although it might take a few months to a few years to actually get there. um, and I would also just recommend that you create a program, or a business model that has values in it. Like I created a program based on what I would want from a program, which is a combination of like a group setting, a group container, and one-on-one support, because I really value that one-on-one support with a mentor. And over time it needed to grow. So it was either that, okay, I keep the container of my groups to like 13 people and or less, which meant that either the prices needed to raise or I needed to open it up to more people. And Kristyn's like, actually, you don't need to do 3-month programs. You need to do a year long. So that kind of like blew my mind to like, oh, wow, you're right. Actually, that business model, it works, but it's not like the bigger, sustainable paradigm. Like the paradigm needs to shift in thinking, which is something I think you were talking to. So I really, again, like
Mm.
the greatest example we have is what we care about and want for ourselves, but there's definitely reverse engineering, and having mentoring and coaching at different points along the way is really helpful, because trying to figure it all out on your own because you can't afford coaching, yes, it works to a certain degree. That's how I got started. But there's a certain point on the path where you just gotta, take a leap and invest in yourself, or get some support so you can have a more sustainable model, because you might not be figuring or strategizing it all out on your own. It's really overwhelming to be alone in this, is something I want to say. So that's, stay connected to, we have free Facebook groups, and you can stay connected to our teachings, and make sure that you're just not alone in trying to figure this out, because being the strategy is in the female-centric way of doing things is that we support each other in a, I will say, sisterhood, if you don't identify with female, but just we support each other in a family, a community, rising up.
I love this so much. And, so many of us have what I call the lone wolf syndrome, which I definitely have had to work really hard to heal. Of like, yes, I can change the oil in my car and I can do all the things by myself. But, I did also get to that point, Aya, where I was like, you know what, investing in mentorship was the best thing I ever did. And I've invested in multiple mentors since that first one that I really seriously went for. And don't get me wrong, I was scared. I was like, my heart was pounding when I gave him my credit card. Believe me, I didn't even have the money. I had to borrow it, but I wouldn't regret anything. And here's the thing, is like, we can't do this alone. And I think on the planet, there's like the collective is rising and knitting together even more than before, because I think we're realizing we really can't be a lone wolf. We can't achieve our big vision all by ourselves. And I'm not saying, like I said, it's scary. It is. And I love what you said, Aya, in your description. You said, like, I've fallen on my face and it's been hard at times. And I was laughing because I'm like, oh, I got some gravel on my face. Can you get that? Like, I got a little scrape right here. Like, definitely fallen on my face a lot. But having support and mentorship and community of other people building their businesses, it's been a total game changer. And you go faster too. You go faster. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love that.
So wanting to, let's see, we wrap things up with one, your Soulfully Sold Out offers, and you have a meditation to bring us through, and I'm really excited about because you're an energy healer and you have all these other techniques that you bring into, your biz mindset. So please share with us the techniques, because we need to stay regulated in our nervous systems. That is actually like one of the highest priorities in taking care of myself nowadays. It maybe is the highest priority, nervous system.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me to share. I do have a free 5-day training that's happening. It's called Soulfully Sold Out Offers. And so remember, we were talking about that business model, and my story of really figuring out how to create offers the right way is what liberated me from that sort of like from trying to make enough money, right? It
Like
was the
hating
thing that led
sales,
me.
right?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
that's,
sorry.
it's designing it the right way, but it's also like, how can you sell it in a way that feels good, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to sell something. But yeah, so this Soulfully Sold Out Offers is like, how can we create and offer really valuable programs in a way that people say yes, in the way that people can understand, oh, this is actually going to serve me, right? And so it's happening March 15th through 19th. Again, it's totally free. It's going to be action-packed, super juicy, and we will put the link in the comments after this live. And I hope you will join me. Again, it's totally free and you're going to love it. So again, like, it's one of my favorite topics. So there you go. And then, yeah, I have a practice, and it's quite, I know we're at time here almost, but it probably will just only take 5 minutes.
It's all good.
It's actually it's not quite a meditation. This is I think I'll maybe guide us through the practice and then kind of explain just a smidge afterwards. And I'd love to, we'll get feedback from you while we're doing this. So first and foremost, okay, to get online, especially if you've been a very in-person type of a business person, we've got it. It's scary. And we have fear of visibility, don't we? And maybe you're sensitive or empathic or not confident, whatever it is, you've got to get on video. You've got to start sharing your message online. So how do we do that when we are scared? This practice is something it's very simple. You can take it anywhere. And if you have to get on video, or if you have to do something that makes you feel anxious, you can do this practice and it will calm your nervous system and help you be in a more empowered and grounded state of mind so that you have the courage to be visible. Okay, so first and foremost, you need an object. Do you have an object? I brought an apple because it's nice to have something around, but it doesn't matter. You can have a pen, your ring, whatever you got, just something, yeah, perfect. Anything. So if you're watching this, if you're watching the replay, it could be your phone, it could be a pen, it doesn't matter, just something to put in your hands. Okay, so then go ahead and put it in both of your hands like this, and I might have to stand up a little bit. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have it, I'll show you on my midline. So we're going to have it here, and I'll show you the rest in a moment. But first of all, I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to just take a couple breaths and feel your feet on the floor and acknowledge yourself for being here in this moment. And now, just for the sake of this exercise, I want you to think of that thing, something in your life that makes you feel anxious. Something that makes you feel anxious. Now, it might be like when someone cuts you off in traffic. It might be, your cable service sucks. It could be something really mundane. It could be something really personal, but I want you to get that thing in your mind that makes you anxious. All right, you got it? Aya, you got it? You got that thing?
Yes.
Something in your mind? Okay, she's like, yes, let's do this. Okay, so now I want you to think about that thing that makes you anxious. Think about that scenario, okay? And really get into it. Like, just imagine you're in the situation and you're feeling whatever you're feeling tense. Like, get into the visceral embodied feeling of it, and just like, this thing, and maybe your heart rate is increasing, and maybe you pit of your stomach, whatever that is, but really be in that moment of that anxious feeling. Feel it in your whole body right now. And if you could rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most anxious, just right now in this moment as you're living in that, what would you say your number is? Aya, do you have a number?
9.
9.
I'm
Perfect.
too afraid.
Okay.
I'm not going to let myself get to 10 because then
Yeah.
I'll explode here.
That's right. I got you. I got you. Okay, so I'm going to show you this real quick. So I'm gonna have you continue to think about this thing, and then what we're going to do is you're going to close your eyes, listen to my voice, but we're going to pass this object, and you want to pass the midline, and you want to swing your arm all the way out like this, right? Okay, so keep swinging. So close your eyes and be in that anxiety. Be in your 9. I just feel the thing, whatever makes you anxious. Imagine you're in the scenario, you're reliving it, that thing that makes you feel anxious, whatever that situation is. Just keep thinking about it. Keep feeling it. Meanwhile, you're just gently swinging your arm, passing this object back and forth. I'm just going to do this for about a minute. And so just keep thinking about that anxiety, that stressful situation. Walk yourself through it. Imagine you're in it. And just breathe as you're thinking. And pass the object, crossing over your midline, swinging your arms out to each side. As you gently pass the object back and forth. And just keep breathing and keep thinking about that anxiety or anger or stress. Just keep thinking about the situation, and all the while, you're just gently passing. And just a little more now. Just stay with it. Just keep passing your object back and forth, just like that. That's right. Just keep breathing and passing. All right. And you can gently let your arms rest, and just with your eyes still closed in this moment, just tune in. And maybe you can just tune in this moment and let us know when you think about that situation. Just right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate your level of anxiety now?
Yeah, it's like a 3 or 2 even. Mhm.
Powerful, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So normally what I'll do, and I know we're a couple minutes over, so I'll just wrap this up.
So good.
But yeah, it's good for me too. But so normally what I would do is do that a couple times. So if we did one more round, we probably would get you to a 0 or 1. So you see that
Mm.
see how, so I was at a 9, like, she was at a 9. We did this I didn't time it, but it was probably around a minute. 1 minute. And then your level of anxiety got down to a 3 or 4. And then, like I said, if you repeat it, you can get it down to 0 or 1. And think about this, you could do this anywhere, anytime, and it's so fast and easy. Now, what the heck is this? So this is a very simple practice. It's called bilateral stimulation. And if anybody wants, there's other training videos and things out there. I'm happy to share one if you want to kind of go keep practicing this. But bilateral stimulation. So what this does is that we're stimulating both hemispheres of the brain. And so, like, anxiety and fear is based in the amygdala. The amygdala is like one of the oldest parts of the brain, right? That sort of like really primal fight, flight, thing. And so the fear and anxiety, it sort of clusters in the amygdala. And so when we are in this practice of bilateral stimulation, by stimulating both hemispheres of the brain, we're actually serving to dissipate the neural activity and the neural charge. So it in effect begins to unravel that cluster of anxiety neural activity around
Mm.
the amygdala. If that makes sense. And so then it begins to really activate the parasympathetic nervous system also in the process. And that's why your personal embodied feeling of like the 9 is able to dissipate and lessen and calm. So if you have
I
to
love
make a video on Facebook and you're like shaking in your boots, you could grab an apple or whatever, and you could do a couple of rounds of this and then serve.
That's awesome. Yeah, it reminds me of I learned EMF, which is kind of like bio tapping or emotional freedom technique, where you're tapping and you are working with the parasympathetic nervous system, very similar. And I was just thinking, wow, this is so valuable. There's been so many times where like I'm about to get on a Facebook Live and I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I get nervous and my, sweaty hands, and I'm nervous, we're just nervous to be live and to be seen. And so I can just see how this is really helpful for us, those of us just getting ready to transition. I want to thank you so much, Kristyn, for coming on and sharing your magic, your medicine, your soulful strategy. And thank you for our viewers. I see Ronnie jumped on, Jenna, and Anjali, Shakti. Thanks for coming on live. And yeah, if you didn't get a chance to watch from the beginning, we would love to have your feedback of how this has landed for you today. And hope to see you next week. And this is Women's History Month, so I just want to take a moment to honor all women innovators, change makers, those that have taken big risks to make it possible for us to have the rights that we have. The women's suffrage movement has only been since the early 1900s. So that means our right to vote has been, I would say, under a century now. So we have freedom of rights thanks to a lot of women in history. And more than ever, women are rising up and making businesses and creating careers that are not only like soulfully fulfilling, but making more money than men. So I just want to celebrate that. And this is your month to really honor your story and what you came here with. So thank you.
I love that so much. And we know that when women prosper and make money, that they serve the community with their wealth, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
so it's like that idea of, yeah, women are powerful and are here to help heal in a myriad of ways. And if you can really get your gifts more fully in the world and be supported, then we get more of your medicine. So thank you for being here, and thank you for everyone who joined us.
Reminds me of the medicine of the matriarchal society is like the mother is the one that evenly distributes all of the goods to the people. So thank you, Kristyn. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up, and we'll post in the comments here in just a few minutes some links to stay connected to Kristyn and I.
Yay, thank you so much.
Yay!
Have a
Okay.
wonderful day.